Hello, lovely listeners, and good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to One Harmonic Whole
With Kim and Jill.
Sit back and enjoy today's message.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, Jill. And we're back. We're back from our trip around the sun for the week.
And what a week it's been.
Oh my goodness. It has. The amount of energy movement, things being shown, being brought up, like there's a lot of energy. We'll just say energy movement.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, one of my mantras that I like to use now, it's been very, very prominent the last few years in my life, is I'm not a computer.
Yeah.
Because there's so much that sometimes when you try and keep up, it can cause stress and anxiety and then physical issues because we're not really, I'm going to air quote, following the rules. We're trying to be a computer. We're trying to do so many things. And so there's this, there's a discernment too that's coming up that we need to do. And oh my goodness, we've gone so many different, Kim and I were talking before this, we've gone so many different directions that we couldn't even discern a single direction for today.
No.
And so we thought we'd just hit record and see where it goes.
Yep.
And here we are.
Okay, so let's talk about dizzy. Okay. Both of us had experiences with just some random dizzy energy movement.
In
Okay.
the last week.
I don't even want to call it a dizzy spell because it was like a wave.
A dizzy wave or a dizzy experience.
Yes.
Which is quite unusual for both of us.
Yep.
And I was writing Kim last night. I texted her last night. I'm like, anything with dizziness? Because I was getting dizzy, movement through me. And I was like, wow, this doesn't usually happen. And Kim's over there yawning. So
Yep. I had experience the other day actually driving, and it was everything normal. What quote unquote normal?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're driving, and I get to a stoplight, and I just got hit with a wave of dizziness. And it was very strange and odd for me. And as a nurse, and I instantly go into what's wrong with me? Am I having a heart attack? And like it was so fast at how my brain wanted to go into something's wrong and trying to go on the physical. And I'm saying this, all this crap in my throat's coming up. But the training that we've been working on for years and trying to hone in on, say, spiritual energy or more just that self-talk energy and getting control over the ego mind, getting control over the stressors. This voice in my head was like, stop and just take a deep breath. Don't react. It's just a feeling you're going through. Don't put a diagnosis or a
it's kind of like you're gonna doom spiral with it.
Yes. Yeah, doom spiral. I like that. And right away my brain's like, stop. What are you doing? Slow down, focus. So I found one thing to focus on. And I had to stay focused on that particular thing. And I just kept looking at it and taking deep breath. And I started saying, I am okay. I am fine. And then it was like, all of a sudden, the whole fear and the whole stuff start creeping in again. I had to look off to the side, see if the light was still red or did it turn green. And then it's like, oh my gosh, if it turns green, I can't.
Because your dizzy spell happened while you were driving.
Yeah. So I'm like,
I mean, you weren't driving, actually. You were stopped at a light wonderfully.
Yes.
And making plans of how you could pull off of the road. Because, yeah. So she wasn't in danger. Others weren't in danger, which shows you the grace of energy experiences too when we open to them. Yeah.
So I was even being thankful for the light, saying thank you for staying red in this moment. Thank you for staying red.
Yeah.
Most of us are like, turn green right now. I gotta get somewhere to go.
Rolling our eyes come on already. And Kim's like, oh my gosh, thank you.
But how quickly the training that came back was very fast. And I was fascinated actually more with that than I was fascinated.
Yeah, which training? The
I was fascinated with the like the retraining part of like, you're calm, just take a deep breath. Like,
Your own retraining that you've done
yes.
for yourself. I got you because 'cause you're
Yeah.
very, very good at that. Like, for example, just
Oh,
to be real clear here, that desire to, like, doom spiral, as we
y-
called it, Kim will
yeah.
interrupt that really, really, really fast because she's retrained herself.
Yep.
So it's highly unusual for you to actually doom spiral, much less begin one. And
Right.
you were starting to you were in the beginning steps, and you were like, "Wow, wow, is that correct?" You're
Yeah.
like, "Wait a second."
And I would say 5, 6 years ago, I would have been in a spot where I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, what's happening to me?" Where here it was like the little voice kept coming in my head saying like, "What are you doing? Stop." I'm like, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Remember this training. This is great." And I got more fascinated with that piece,
Yeah.
like the childlike energy of like, "Okay, what is my higher self actually trying to tell me to do? It's trying
We've
to tell me to breathe.
yeah,
Okay,
we've talked
let's."
about curiosity recently,
Yeah,
fascination, we did a thing
fascination.
on
Yes.
fascination.
And then it's like the other stuff, it was like, that stuff's boring. Like going into what normal humans do, like spiraling out of control, the doom spiraling.
Bore was boring to you.
Yeah. All of a sudden I look at
Cool.
that, I'm like, why would I even want to go that way? Like, that's just dumb. That's boring. That's just chaos. Why do I even want that?
Okay, so I'm also getting, we had some dizziness. Some
Yeah.
people had some stomach stuff.
Yes.
And as you're
Yep.
saying this, I'm not sure people were able to interrupt the doom spiral on the stomach stuff. Maybe, but let's explore that physical symptom a little bit because wow, now I'm like, okay,
Oh,
now I'm a little like a
oh,
dizzy experience, if you will, in my
yep.
head and in my gut.
Yep.
I'm like, ugh,
Yep. I could feel that.
yeah.
Um, so there was other people had this happen. I didn't personally, but it's still energy movement. Um, that's going through. I can pick on one person. So, um, mm, they were trying to use, say, anxiety, depression, um, what do you want to call it? A lot of mental health pieces.
Okay.
They were trying to say, well, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have this, I have that. Like, and it's like, oh, my anxiety is really high right now. Okay. Um, or yeah, I keep hearing just stick with the mental health right now. Okay, cool.
Okay, and I got too when you were saying the anxiety was really high, something about that the anxiety was triggered by trauma in the
Yes.
past that somehow is related to today's mental health for this person. All of
Yep.
this stuff.
Yep.
Am I picking up anything here that's accurate or am I
Yep. So it's like we're trying to use blame on situations in the past. Say that were more a mental health thing. Like, I thought this and then that didn't happen, or somebody made me feel this way. So, more like the feelings and the mental health piece,
okay?
the way they thought about a situation, the way somebody made them feel about a situation.
Like just to put it a little bit on on a linear like
Okay.
experience that happens, the the mental health stuff happens. And then after that has happened for so long, then we could have, say, the physical manifestation of something,
Yep. Of the stomach
of
ache.
the stomach ache.
Yep.
Now,
Hmm.
again, just putting it on a line, we go back from the stomach ache to the mental health piece. You were getting a gut reaction. You were getting, gut information,
Yep.
but we weren't tuning in, if you will. And because then we don't tune in and we just shut it down and go off
Mhm.
and all sorts of others like energies with it, if you will.
Yep. And then it leads to this gut microbiome,
And
parasitic bacterial imbalances going on in the
and
stomach.
and imbalance was the word that came to me as well
Mm.
as it was coming to, and then all of a sudden I got to it goes beyond imbalance too. It just gets to straight up chaos.
Yep.
It's like a chaotic thing inside. And so some listeners are in more of the energetic with it. Some are deep into the physical of it. None of it's good, bad, or otherwise. That's just where we are with stuff.
Yep. Um, okay. Mm.
Uh-huh.
We're going up into the brain and the brain processing and how we're like thinking what has worked, Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm I'm just getting a whole bunch of information right now.
So
Um,
much information is coming
oh,
through. It's really
overwhelming almost.
it's been like what's been going on the last week for people. That's what we're picking up here. So we're holding some
Oh,
space for this. We're giving it some time to
because what I'm getting is I'm seeing like reels, Facebook things, TikTok, YouTube, all these things on say mental health and like dealing with your traumas of growing up and like this happened because of XYZ because somebody looked at you the wrong way. Now you have this mole on your back. Okay, not to that extreme, but well, they're like, well, no, for some people that is literally how it is. What the hell? Okay, I've never heard that before. Um, so I'm kind of intrigued with this mole thing. Somebody looked at you wrong. You They're pointing at me particularly. I feel like I'm getting called out on something here. Oh my god. Epiphanies just came through. Okay. Jill's
I'm
like
just in
trying to catch
no,
up with
I'm
me.
watching her in fascination. I'm like, just follow. And I'm like, let's all just sit here and just go, okay, okay. It's fascinating. I
Okay.
trust you, Kim. I trust your process. I do. It's
Right.
fascinating. It doesn't
It's
always make sense, and I'm good with that because I completely trust Kim's.
it's so weird
I
because
completely trust Kim.
right. Yeah. 2 days ago, I'm sitting on the couch and my husband was actually rubbing my back. And I don't get to have that luxury very often. So when I do, it's just like, yes, please rub my back. Like, oh my gosh. And he's very in tune himself, but he remembers things. Like it's the weirdest thing. And all of a sudden he went over a spot in my back and he's like, I don't remember this mole being here. Like, oh, and then I was like, "What mole?" And then he went out I'm like, "Yeah, that's new." And so I had him take a picture of it, looked at it, looks fine. Okay. There's nothing abnormal about this mole, just FYI. But I was like, huh, I have been known to like pop up moles in the past.
Pop up mole.
um,
Yep.
my body's prone to them. There's sometimes a sign when we have moles coming up on our body or skin tags. That's a detoxification problem
Yeah.
and there's also a liver problem. So right away in my head, I'm like, okay, what's going on with my detoxing system? What's going on with my liver?
Okay.
Okay, I'm like, eh, I wasn't quite feeling that. Like, what's the deal? Whatever. It's in my back. Okay. The back side is normally the past. Front
Yep.
side of the body is normally like looking at the now, the present, the future, going more forward. Okay.
Yeah.
The back is the past
Yeah.
um, on an energetic level. Um, so as I'm saying this, as I'm going through my whole like uh talk about this week and the stomach and the dizziness and the whole chaotic energy that's going on,
Yeah.
and then somebody looking at me and somehow in the past, the viewpoint of something that I perceived came up. That's my mole. And I know the situation now because it's like literally flooding in my head. And how fast I created this dang mole is impressive. Um, so it also tells me how fast people are moving energy. It tells me how fast they are creating.
Creating.
Yep.
Period. Yeah.
Um, so I had a situation where I was rethinking, say, how people viewed my type of business, what I do, the more metaphysical, but yet medical, and like integrating the two, how that integrates, and how there was judgment and stuff in the past. And I got to the point where, you know what, I really just don't care. And it's like a little bit of an anger, like I'm going to stick it to them energy to where I kind of let that go. Where it's like, yeah, they can do what they want, like I'm gonna do what I want, no big deal, and it creates a peace. And
Yeah. I'm
then,
very peaceful with it.
yep,
Yeah.
most recently I had to change up the a little bit more on the I don't even know the right words for this, but there was an energetic shift on that level, the thinking and the business level. There was an energetic shift that happened in a really positive way that I didn't think I was even holding on to something, and it came up. I was like, wow, I didn't know I was still creating that scenario or that scene or that energy. that thought.
Yeah, and just to be really, like, crystal clear here for some people, like, Kim was literally called a witch at certain points in
Yeah.
her evolution of her work, and finding peace with that has been an interesting journey for you, I know, and I haven't seen the whole journey, but I've seen
Yeah.
some of it, and I've seen really big changes with it, where once that peace comes,
Yeah.
then you don't have not you know, anyone doing this, but in your specific case, you don't have those accusations, those triggers, if you will, whatever you
Yeah.
want to, as often. And so all of a sudden, when it showed up, I'm sure you were like, "Whoa, another level to
Yep.
there's more peace
Yep.
available."
There is.
It even like that. It's there.
So I literally embraced that. I was like, okay, I'm good with that. It's like I can't change the energies around me as in like what other people think or feel or anything like that. But it was like I can change how I perceive the past. And it was like there was something about it where I'll release. And that's what they're showing me. The mole is about like how I popped out something that was, say, in there, kind of like a zit. You bring a zit to the head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A detox and a clearing. I had a lot
Yeah.
of that stuff happen as well, but I do want to go a whole other
Yes.
direction here. Just throw this out to you
Okay.
of the mole, because when you said mole,
Hmm.
as you know, Kim, the word mole in my last week is not a mole on the physical body.
Correct.
A mole is the animal.
Yep.
And so I quickly Googled metaphysical meaning of mole. And there's introspection, intuition, and diving deep into the subconscious to uncover hidden truths and
Ah.
personal treasures.
Yes.
Which is also what you were doing with the physical moles.
Yeah.
The messages came to me more through animal. I get a lot of animal messages. Animals
Yes.
talk to me like they show up. It's just been like, yeah. But intuition.
Yeah.
So to like,
Wow.
yeah, bring a lot of this together. And I don't even know if it's possible,
Great.
but intuition. People were getting like lots, lots and lots of intuitive information, energy, whatever you'd like to call it.
Yes.
We are, it's not like you can go and chase every single bit that comes through because it's kind of fast and furious at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems chaotic in some ways.
Hmm.
But we had talked about, and I'm not sure if this is the phrase now or not, but we had talked about an integration point
Hmm.
internally.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I heard that you were doing, Kim, all of a sudden, actually just live, right in the recording of this. All sorts of information came through. It all made sense to you.
Yep. Yeah. It everything like all the piece. Ha ha ha. Funny. Okay. Um.
Pieces.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
The pieces to the puzzle were all literally signs of peace that I needed to find my inner peace.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the puzzle finally came together. It's like your aha moment, your epiphanies.
Your epiphany. Yeah.
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 Um,
That's what an integration point is.
yeah.
It'll bring your epiphany. Now, if
Yeah.
if things are getting really wild, you may need to, like when you were at the red light, Kim,
Yeah.
you may need to use some of your skills.
Yeah. And I go back to that one focal point
Yeah.
that I had to just my pinpoint, just stay right there. Stay right with that. I could not look at anything else around me.
Yeah.
Not the dash, not the movement, nothing. It was just like focus on one thing. Kind of like when you're super nauseous and you try looking around the room, you try and watch TV, it gets you more nauseated.
Yeah.
It was like that.
See, and to me, what you're describing there is you are very present in the now. And we
Yeah.
have this fantasy idea of what it means to be in the now. And what I mean by that is we we really only will allow the now to be half of the picture. The now is wonderful, it's beautiful, and it can be that, but it can also be very nauseating and dizzying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And quite honestly, I know I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. It's been a while. One of the best descriptions I ever heard of what it means to be in the now had to do, I mean, the person was literally like, if you've ever been in an accident or gotten shocking news, when everything collapses, you are now in the now. Only one thing exists. And we really kind of fight that. That's the fantasy. We're a little afraid of just the one thing because everything else goes away. And what we start to notice is we're studying what's being revealed to us, Kim, is how this works.
Mhm.
And how it works actually kind of scares us because you're sitting there with a pinpoint focus. And all these other things that were pulling your attention are now gone.
Mhm.
How do they go away like that instantaneously, right? And it starts bringing up all these deep questions and
Mhm.
new ways of that we'd have to say, look at things.
Yep.
And we're so deeply attached to how we thought things were.
And it's those, um I see a lot of people trying to create the change. Like they're trying. They're I don't wanna say reaching at straws, but they're trying different things. They're trying new, alternative modalities maybe, and they're out there, they keep researching, they keep digging, digging, digging in the fountain of youth. They keep trying to find the fountain of youth. You mentioned some guy who
Yeah, I don't
spends
even know who he is. I
yeah.
vaguely know his story. All I know about him is that he's got a lot of money and he spends a ton of money on the Fountain of Youth. And he's made it like kind of crossed over. People are fascinated by him because his success rate should be really high based on how much he's piled into this. And it's kind of like,
Yep.
it's not as successful as the amount of resources he's put in, has
Yeah.
been the takeaway that I've gotten from it.
Yeah. Whoa.
A very slight dive for me on his stuff. Here's what I've noticed, Kim, and would like to point out is that at some point here, we have shifted, though. There was more peace coming in and less chaos.
Uh-huh.
So when people are out looking at new modalities and experiencing new things, initially it can seem very chaotic because you don't know where to file and put the stuff because it's new.
Yes.
And when you find a focal point, which is that's that internal spot, like what's the one thing I can look at right now? That's what you did at that stoplight. What's
Yep.
the one thing I can look at right now? And you are okay with everything else collapsing, if you will. You are very okay with being here in the moment. As a matter of fact, you kept coaching yourself back into the moment.
Yep.
You felt the desire and the intrigue to follow that thing, follow this thing, and even build up the story into this dizziness forcing you where you couldn't drive and whatever. And you kept collapsing those things and going, what's this one thing? What's this one thing?
Yep. And everybody has an ability to do this.
It brings in a an incredible sense of peace is what I get from it. Like, wow, like things are actually still kind of spinning. There's still a lot
Okay.
going on.
So when you brought up when say new modalities come up and it's like we kind of can get caught up in all the things of it. So say somebody walks into a metaphysical store because they're done with the standard Western medicine. And I'm okay, release the judgment there. If you have some judgment towards the medical world, let go of that
Right.
already.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they're there to help us when we need the help. Okay. Um, so when you just putting this out there, when you have still judgments against the say Western medicine and you get in a car accident, guess what? They're going to be the ones that you need to save you.
Not when you, if you would.
Yes.
Hopefully you
Sorry.
won't.
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah.
But
If you,
yes.
yeah. Or you have some major thing happening and you need their help, they are the ones that are going to be there to help you. And it's like, so if you release any sort of judgment now, that means that energetic flow of them helping you is going to go beautifully. So you're setting up the intention of future, like when I need them, I know they're going to be beautiful. I know that it's going to work wonderfully for me. Right now, I'm just choosing to go in this direction. Neither good nor bad, just I'm letting them go for right now. There's no like,
It's
they
being
did this to me.
Yeah, I said this so many times, most to myself, where like I catch myself. I'm like, don't be against something, Jill. You don't have to be against or for something. That's one
Yep.
form of releasing judgment.
Yep.
Like I know, say, the preferences, the things that tend to work better for me. But even that is just information.
Yep.
We have to get rid of this like grasping to say it's going to be this thing. that I've been told, that I believe, that I'm against, that I'm for, that I like, that I dislike, all that stuff. It's like, as all of those things, as we engage all of those things, that's the dizziness. That's where
Yep.
it just like starts to spin and spiral around us, where it's like, okay, if we had to bring this to one focal point, it'd be like, in that moment that you're having dizziness, I'm sure you asked a question that got you focused. Whether, because I know you, Kim, you ask a question. You
Yeah.
always say, ask a question. Did you ask a question?
Um, Basically what I got was like, whoa, what is this? And I literally like my eyes showed me right to one specific thing. And then I heard focus. So it could have been like maybe I wasn't focusing on what I was trying to look for, or maybe I was unfocused and they're trying to refocus me. Doesn't matter.
But you're asking that question
Yep.
shifted things for you. But that's
Yep.
because you took that, you brought in some sort of like an internal, like,
And there's a trust with myself now
yeah.
versus had years ago. There's not a trust. So how do you trust that somebody's, when you feel in your head or the notion to look at one focus thing, you're like, that's really dumb. Like I'm driving. I can't just focus on the one thing. I have to look at here, 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 here,
You
here.
argue with it, you judge it.
Yeah.
Trust is built through experience,
Yeah.
is how trust exists. It's not anything other than that. So you built enough experiences, you engaged enough experiences to start proving to yourself that you could trust what was coming to you.
Yep.
And you did that by that very first one is the biggest risk we take,
Mhm.
right? Because it's the first time we say, you know
Yep.
what, this seems crazy. This seems insane. This doesn't seem like anything that I should be doing, but okay, I'll focus on this one thing. That's
Yep.
what I got. And then all of a sudden you find out, oh, as I focus on this one thing, I can feel the dizziness starting to subside, which makes no
Mhm.
logical sense
In our human brains, it doesn't make sense.
in our human brains. And that's where we're building trust, is
Yeah.
in our brains, of where we have memories to go back to and say, well, it worked that last time.
Yeah. And most people, and this would have been me years ago too, is that I would have wanted to know, why did that happen to me?
Yeah.
And why did that dizziness, like something had to be wrong, something had to be there. And I literally to this day, no clue. And I don't care
Right.
because I
Because
was like,
there's more to the story, and it's not a big deal. It's just there was more once she wasn't as dizzy and the
yeah,
light changed and you could drive. There was other things that occurred that were very intriguing to you, but at the
yeah,
same time, you were like, let it go.
yep.
It's
There was chaos around, but I wasn't involved in the chaos.
and it I think that's the bigger thing, like the chaos. You're not involved in the chaos. So then that happened like a week or so ago to you. And then last night I'm
Yeah,
writing you saying, heard anything about dizziness?
yeah.
And dizziness is not a common thing for me.
Nope.
But what is what used to be very common for me was to get swept away in chaos energy. Like I didn't have enough skill to not get like very unconsciously swept away.
And you noticed there was a change in your environment with the people in your surrounding areas
Right.
when you weren't swept up in it.
So we're picking up on this and going, wow, our listeners must have some really incredible shifts going on in our own inner capacity, right?
Yep.
To navigate these things.
Oh, they're finding their
Oh, wow.
you just heard acceleration point. I was like, what's with the points today?
Yeah, they're finding their acceleration
I'm
points.
like, what? Um, how everything moves very fast. Okay. They're like, sometimes it's okay to hit that button and like, so it's kind of like your gas pedal. Gas pedal is like full force. They're like, sometimes it's okay to let up on the gas pedal, like the acceleration button, like, oh, we're gonna stop accelerating, undo that button. Like,
Yeah,
oh, things are still going to sometimes going to just be too fast for people right now.
yeah,
And they're just getting so swept up in it.
yeah. But you have the
So
capacity within you to what would be
decelerate?
decelerate, deaccelerate, reduce your speed. We do have that's my self-coaching thing sometimes where I go, I am not a computer.
Yeah.
There's too many variables coming in right now, too much
Yeah.
data to process. My human brain, I know that there's like capacities that are amazing. I'm not there. This is starting to scramble me. It was starting to, the chaos was starting to move inside of me. It was
Mhm.
external chaos that would say, move into my brain, move into my body, move into like, I don't know how to get out of this, a form of a doom spiral, right?
Yeah.
Um, I will now say, I'm not a computer. I'm not a computer. What's the one thing? What's the nothing?
Mm. Yep. Wow. And I'm going back to the beginning times of, say, Earth. There was not a computer. There was still energy and there were still humans.
Yep.
And humans were beautiful at creating things with energy.
They were much more aligned.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, I think, had to do simply with the pace of life itself. They were much more aligned because things were, say, slower, if you will, relative to today's world.
Yeah.
And because we are closer to that. I mean, this is by no means, there's nothing about computers or anything that's bad. They're fascinating. There's a role for it. There's a reason they're here. And we're doing what we're doing with it. I think it comes to Kim like this internal, the integration of it. Okay. A computer is a computer and a human is a human. And there's great things that we can do together. But once the human starts to think they're a computer or a computer starts to think it's human, now we're out. Yeah, Kim's shaking her head. Nope,
Nope.
nope, that's not the way it
Mhm.
was supposed to work. So for those of you who say have been had some fear pings for AI and what AI is capable of, one way that you could definitely balance that out is to remind yourself that you are not a computer, you are a human, and make some pretty strong um, lines about what those things are and are not.
Mhm. Okay. That there's say an example when I was that having that dizzy spell.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're showing me if I would have been hooked up to say EEG and did all this like computerized processing to find out what was going on in that moment, it would all have been negative. We don't know what's wrong with you. Where and I
Because
would
those
just
things have their limitations too, just as
yes,
our own ability. Sometimes we hit a limitation and need to go and ask someone and say, like Kim, for help. It's really that's that
oh,
integration, like going within.
and
Okay.
yep. And there's when you say going within, all of a sudden I feel like I'm walking into like a metaphysical store and I'm going to somebody saying, hey, I don't feel good. Like, what do you got for me? And all of a sudden they're saying, well, there's this gemstone, there's that you should really sage, you should probably get some energy work done. You probably need XYZ. You probably have some sort of attachment related to you, like all the say things. And we get all of a sudden swept up. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, yes, 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 yes. And we're not actually serving ourselves well. We are literally still getting caught up in chaos.
Still in chaos. Where I
Yep.
saw walking into that metaphysical, the person that I saw walking into the metaphysical store was told to go and get a Western medical test.
Yeah.
That's instantly what came into my head.
Yeah.
Like, not the thing the person was expecting.
Yeah.
Well, if that practitioner in that store is truly in an integration place, they are willing to offer their services when needed. They're also willing to say, I don't know, when
Mhm.
I don't know is appropriate.
Yep.
And what I don't know, and all I do know is that perhaps a test from Western might give you an answer. And you're not promising it, you're just saying maybe. Now you're coming from that integration place. We tend to be coming right now from a very extreme place. Um, the extreme, if you would have come from the extreme place with your dizziness, Kim, you would have absolutely you know that, right? You
Yep.
told me that. I'm not telling her. She shared with me. You knew full well you could have spun that,
Oh,
literally spun that
easily.
into like someone needing to have to get you off of the side of the road.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um, but it's like we have I knew we have full control. I knew our humans, our brains, like all this stuff has full control. I took that as an opportunity, like,
It
okay,
is an opportunity. It's infinite opportunity,
yeah, what
actually.
can I do with this in this moment? What do I get to control? Now, what does the environment control of me? So it's like that's the only thing I got to focus on was what do I have control over? I have control over my breath. I have control over a thought, like I had that control and you
Mhm.
stayed with it. When you walk into some place or doctors or anything, like you get bombarded with many choices. You've said this in the past. Anything more than three choices.
We pretty much shut down.
Yeah.
We think we can handle it. It's yeah. Sometimes we can go to 4, but
Yeah.
even then we're starting to come undone.
Yep.
That's because that's just our limitation. We can only read the energy of 3 to 4 things clearly before it starts to move into chaos.
Yep. Oh. So in that moment, what are my basic things that I need? And everything comes down to like nothing really matters around you said it, like you get pulled into the zone. If you walk into the place or you're listening to oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm getting pulled back to like YouTube, Facebook, Reels, all these things. All these people saying, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to look at that." And I feel like I'm being bombarded with like all this information.
This'll fix you. This'll fix you. Here's
Yes.
what's wrong with you. This'll be the fix. This is the next thing. That's the part of the fountain. You do.
Yes.
This is the next thing. This is the next thing. You'll never have to. Yeah. And eventually just as your head is going round and round, like, oh my God, like,
Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? And it's like these people are now questioning because it might be great for one person.
yes.
It might really be great for one person, but then you have to really tune in and like almost become at peace first before you know exactly what aligns with peace.
Now, see, I like that a lot. And that is what a very good descriptor of the integration point, where you take that thing that you
Yep.
just saw, you bring it inside. Is this something to integrate? And right now, whatever I'm thinking of has got me like, oh my God, I feel this really, it does not feel good at all. And I'm like, yep, nope, that's not for me. And it's not an against it. It's not, oh, that's bad. It's not a judgment. It's nothing. It's just, it doesn't integrate into me.
Correct.
Now, somehow, Kim, some people, so we have this mental piece of us, the mind. We talked a bit about mental health. We have the physical piece of us, and then that energetic piece, which they're actually not pieces. They're all the same thing. They're all integrated.
Yep.
It's all one thing. It's just one can be out of balance sometimes. And some people are completely out of touch with anything that's going on physically. That I have noticed, like, um, kind of interesting this week with some things that have come up where I'm like, how was there no understanding whatsoever that that was happening physically to someone?
Hmm.
And sometimes that is the same person then who is out trying to get all the answers from metaphysical because they're so not wanting to be in that integration of mind, body, spirit.
Yep.
They're saying, well, I only want to be in the energy piece of it. Well, what I keep getting is in like the rules, the rules, the rules, and not rules to be mean, not rules to limit us, not rules. It's just here are the rules. You're all 3 of those. And if you want to get to where you want to be just energy, then you've got to engage the path that teaches you how to be just energy. And I'm going to tell you,
Mm.
folks, it's a very intensive training to get to just energy. You can
Yes.
do it, but you don't get to skip some pretty intensive uh, lessons along the way. We were had some information come to us, Kim, where some people were trying to skip the physical,
Yeah.
go straight to the energetic, but they don't want to do the physical lessons. And it's just like those aren't the rules. Replace rules with whatever else you want to call it.
Right. It is true. Like they don't want to. They're not addressing like the one person was exposed to mold. And over like there it was like a chronic exposure, it wasn't just like one time thing, chronic exposure. Their mental health actually started changing. And they were in the impression that that was like energy. So I need to just literally work on um energy work, Reiki, healing touch, quantum thoughts, like all the stuff.
Yeah.
And like wearing certain gemstones and like then they started like say, oh, I have depression and in reality, it really came down to if you look in the past where they're at, they were in a house that had a whole bunch of mold. That is the culprit. That was the cause. Like you go back.
Yes. And I see puzzle
So
pieces. The 3 puzzle pieces is the visual that I see. And I see that the physical piece is literally not really like it's still there because you can't get rid of it, but it's
Yeah.
like the size of a pinhead. It's
Yeah.
so tiny because there's no integration of the physical going on here. It's like, it's like there's mental health stuff going on, the mind,
Yeah.
and then there's energy stuff going on.
Yeah.
But the need is to integrate some of the physical stuff in along with that.
Yep.
And right now, there tends to be a lot of extreme.
Mhm.
And the extreme ultimately is not going to give you peace. And so many times I've seen you, Kim, when you talk about people coming to you, and me or otherwise people I've known who've come to you, and I have their permission to talk with Kim about that kind of stuff. Um, it's just interesting how many times you've said, people, you've got to integrate, you've got to be open to all three of those and honor whatever comes as to what needs, what is in need of, say, a little more attentiveness right now. And you are extremely good at that. You are the person who will be in that metaphysical store that will tell someone, here's your blood tests and your as Western as you get lab results.
Yep.
And you use that as a tool. So these rules become tools and it all becomes very playful for you, Kim.
Yeah.
You're not in it going, you're not resenting the rules. You're not resenting the tools. You're not resenting that you didn't know the answer when they walked in here metaphysically. You're not judging that, arguing with it. You are literally like, I see you just, I know we talked about this last week or was the previous week, but you're in the sandbox playing.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
all becomes very fun to you.
Yep.
Which
And
is in a way what
it's
you did with that Disney
amazing.
moment.
Yeah, it's amazing to see other people create their castles in the sand. That's what the super fun part is, I think. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I can give you like the tools to make that castle in the sand,
Yeah.
to like make yourself healthy, to think clear, all that stuff. Open up your intuition, whatever, feel better. I can give you all the tools,
Yeah.
but you are the one that gets to play with it and do it.
Right. And so I'm seeing this thing where people are like in chaos. Don't judge yourself. You're in chaos. It's fine. You might want to be playing in chaos for a while. But where it gets challenging is when you're playing in chaos, but you want to build a castle. Well, guess what? You have to shift focus if you want to build a castle, because right now you're on chaos.
Yep.
And it's how do you want to play with it?
Um, so an idea that just popped up in my head is like set your own. I'm gonna
Okay.
use the word rule. Okay.
Yeah.
Set your own rule. As in you're always moving forward. You're moving forward, whether you're in chaos or whether you're in stillness. Like, you're moving forward towards the goal of peace. Your goal is peace. So everything that you will do is bringing you ultimately to peace. I'm asking our guides here, what does that mean? What does that really look like in a human level? So, um, say a random person also comes into your life and they make you feel like insecure for whatever reason. Say you're working at I'm gonna pick on say Target, and you're working and somebody just says something that just gets underneath your skin, and you're like, how is this helping me? Like this just made me feel like crap. Like what? And I hear lots of laughter in here. Remember, you asked to be shown, to be brought peace. That person is helping you to clear out the things that are not part of your piece. If all of a sudden you stub your toe, okay, and you're like, oh my gosh, I asked for peace. I didn't ask to be stubbed in the toe. But in reality, you did. You're asking the goal is peace. Stubbing the toe means, okay, look at the physical body. Physically, you need to look at like, I need physical support. Okay. So I'm going to create some physical things for you.
Yeah.
So,
But someone's goal too may be health, it may not be peace.
right.
It might be health. And then sometimes we have a setback
Yeah.
as we're on the health path, right? And it's like, oh, it's getting better, better. And then all of a sudden, like this big setback where it's like, holy crap, things are worse. But it was a big clearing out of somehow.
Yes.
And that's the same thing as the target person, the fake
Yes.
target,
Yeah.
none of it's real that, made someone feel a certain way.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like we tend to get very attached to things going one particular way. And I think what if we want to get attached to anything, get attached to that. This is like theater. It's all made up.
Yep.
You're out on the
Mhm.
stage at that moment. That's what's happening. You can also say, you know what? I don't like this and drop that. Drop it and go behind, open the curtains, go behind the scenes and talk to everyone. The person that was just the villain to you
Yep.
is now your friend behind the scenes
Right.
because you knew each other.
Yep.
Or maybe not even your friend, but someone you had at least professional respect for or whatever. But that's how much influence we have over our moment to moment experiences. But also, weirdly, how much we just don't know the big total picture of it. Like all we know is our little stage piece of
Mhm.
it. Again, that's kind of the we're not computers. We're not this all knowing, all seeing, whatever. And not that computers are that yet, but that's kind of like the goal people want to get it to, where they can do so much that um yeah, she Kim's yawning. Wow.
Ooh,
Wow. We're just like
it's it's
moving,
it's a very
moving in.
yeah, yeah, I can't even say the word that I want, like that we've been using. I want to say the word chaos, and they're like, no, it's not chaotic. It's not chaos. It's just how fast energy is moving now. That um, it's not like I even want to jump on the boat. I don't want to jump down the river and like move with the current. It's more like, how do I be in this like fast energy? Imagine like wind, just like you're standing in a wind tunnel and you're standing still and you're just watching it all. The wind goes by, you feel it hitting your body, the wind, and you hear the howling of the wind, but it's going right by you and you don't feel pain. You're just standing there very, very strong, grounded. And
Yep.
you're like, wow, I'm just watching the wind go by.
Do
Like,
you
it's
know
cool.
when you said that, Kim, it's not chaos. I felt
Yeah.
such a massive shift for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop calling this chaos chaos. And then I instantly, not even calling it, judging it to be that. That's what makes it sticky.
Yes.
I went right back to where we had said, people way back when there wasn't as much going on, how in tune they were. Well, part of why they were so much more in tune, it's not that a lot has changed, it's that they didn't have as many distractions.
Yeah.
But energy was still moving fast. Things were still going. All the potentials that are here now were there then. What's into physical form is different,
Yep.
but everything else is very much the same. There's that saying, right? No matter how much things change, they remain the same.
Yep.
What you just did, and not judging chaos as chaos, is you put us all into that wind tunnel, which in my mind was the exact experience of that person all those years ago. Like, oh, here we are. There's
Yep.
all these things going on. And I'm so like embodied in this or something. So what are you getting?
I'm
She's
in
giggling
the
over
wind
there.
tunnel, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm putting my hand out. You know how you feel the wind with your hand, and it just kind of like glides in the
Uh-huh.
wind. Like when you're driving down the road and you open up the window.
Yeah.
Yep. That's also what I'm getting. Like we're playing then with,
So we're feeling the pulse.
yeah.
You're feeling the pulse of the energy. And instead of
Yeah.
the energy being in charge of you, you're, oh, see, yeah, you're
Yeah.
feeling the pulse of the energy and going,
Yeah.
what do I want to do with
Yeah.
this? And rather than blaming modern world for all these reasons things are wrong
Right?
or not working, you're just like, wow, we are all, I should say, feeling that pulse of that energy. And then, well, okay, sometimes
Yep.
it got to be too much, right?
Yes.
You'd pull your hand back in.
Oh my goodness. If you have not tried that, which I'm sure everyone that's listening to this has already put out their hand while they're driving super fast in the window. Like,
Try it though. It's
yeah.
pretty fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, that that is just reflecting of what's going on around you. That it's literally so simple.
Yeah, I just looked at the time. I was like, took us 48, almost 49 minutes to get to simple. The goal was simple. You and if
Uh,
you're listening and they're listening right now, and they're going, but what is the goal?
ah, the goal is whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're saying, we're suggesting, put your hand out the window and feel that experience being the same experience that putting your hand, putting pulse of energy,
Yeah.
which is very non-physical. Feel the pulse of the energy. Feel the pulse of your thoughts.
Yep.
Feel the pulse of your experiences. That's what we're suggesting.
Does your hand flow with it, or do you feel like a resistance, a hesitation, or does your body feel that? Then it's like, okay, then it just doesn't align with the beautiful flow that you were creating.
Yeah. Yeah. And if this simple process doesn't work for you,
Yeah.
then we're asking you to come up with your own. That's a big thing that's happening right now too. That's been a theme of this, of someone might say to you something, but if it doesn't resonate for you, then you create what does.
Yep.
Because there are infinite answers out there. And again, that's that extreme thing. We've started going down a path where we're going to say there's just the one answer. Well, I'm flashing right back to it's in India. They have many versions of a God, many faces. There's infinite faces of a God, but only one God. But there's infinite expressions of it, is one thing that they'll say in parts of India anyway. And that's the same thing. There's one solution, but there's infinite expressions of that one solution.
Yes.
And instead, we got very focused on the one solution is my way, Kim, and I'm going to twist your arm until you do it. And that's what started spinning up chaos in people.
Yep.
As we started to believe that. Well, we're suggesting one way. If this isn't working for you, there are infinite other ways for this to express and show to you, to become integrated, to become balanced, to become peaceful, vibrant, healthy, whatever it is your focus is.
Oh. But now everything in my brain is now nice and soft.
Yeah.
All the thoughts are gone. I love this.
I still feel quite a tension in my stomach area.
Okay.
And I think that's just a matter of some of us needing to create more experiences of being able to trust this.
Yep.
And I think that's our little challenge. If you will, each week we seem to kind of close with a challenge or something to play with for the week. I think that might be the one.
Yep.
Take the pulse. As we said, put your hand on the window, feel the pulse of the energy, create an experience out of that you can trust, and keep building those until you get to like where you were, Kim, where you said you noticed the change. And the change that you noticed was years ago, you would have spun that dizziness into quite a dramatic experience. And instead, you were actually able to drive within, what was it? Was it even a minute?
The light was pretty long. Let's say like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Within a few minutes.
Yep. Yeah. It was really fun, beautiful. Did I like the experience? I can't say I liked it, but I can't say
What did it matter if you liked it?
Exactly.
See, that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? That's why we always say don't judge. What does it matter if you liked it or not? Because there you were, right in the midst of it.
Right. I could have chose a different option, but I chose not to put the emotions with it. Just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, what do I get to control?
Yeah. The sandbox, playing again with the sandbox would be another one this week. But it's building internal trust.
Yep.
Your own experiences with trusting yourself. Ooh, trusting yourself. All right.
Perfect. Thank you, Jill. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Kim. Thanks for listening. Until next time. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Kim and Jill with One Harmonic Whole Dailies Podcast.
Please like, subscribe, share, comment, share with a friend today. Somebody needs this message.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you so much for listening.